Okay, everybody, I am here with Mendy Applegate of Honeydew Checklist. I am so excited to talk to her because Homegirl is a freaking powerhouse. If you need energy, someone that is no fluff and that is here to really skyrocket your business development and your process and your systems and give you some really clear direction as you're building your business, she is the person for you. I know this personally and professionally. I do life with Mendy, but she is also someone I pay monthly to help me inside of my business as well. So I practice what I preach, and I am here to share her with you because she is a gem. And I'm Mackenzie Morris, and after 15 years of building brands, scaling businesses, and creating empires across industries, I have learned that it is not only okay to be uncontainable, it's actually a superpower built within the multi-passionate, the visionaries, and the big dreamers. This is the first multi-dimensional business podcast that mixes strategy, identity, personal stories, conversations, and the messy, unfiltered parts of being a creative to help you build a brand that's impossible to ignore just by being exactly who you are. This is the Too Big to Fit podcast. Before we get into this episode, I want you guys to know that the Hive Academy that Mendy references inside of this episode has been rebranded to the HDC Academy. So anytime you hear Hive Academy, just know that that is no longer its name. It is now rebranded and named the HDC Academy. I am so excited for you to be here.
Thank you. I love you. I'm so excited to be here too. This is going to be fun.
This is really fun. I think it's an important conversation to have and to talk about, especially for people who are newer to business, right? So what we're going to talk about today, we're going to talk about business development. We're going to talk about really the essentials that you kind of need to have in place. And maybe you don't know what those are. And if you don't, we're going to talk about it. And we're going to talk about how you can learn about all that as well. And then we're going to talk about what happens after you've got the bare basic, right? You've got the bare minimum, you've got your bones, your foundation, then what comes after that. So this is gonna be a really cool conversation, and we're just here for the ride. So Mendy, tell us a little bit about you, the Honeydew Checklist, and how you got started and all of that juicy stuff.
So the Honeydew Checklist was established in 2020. My background's actually oil and gas accounting, so I did that for 15 years. Got laid off in 2020. COVID hit, the oil and gas market tanked. And so half of Oklahoma City got laid off, right? And it's like I got up every day and I went to a job. I made great money, but there's no drive and no passion there, And I knew then I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. So that's actually when the company started. So it's been a ride. I mean, over the last 5 years, I've done so many different things in this company, and every year I have shifted services. And I say this all the time. I mean, as you build a business, you go, oh, let's do this. And then you're like, oh my God, that was a horrible idea. I don't want to do that. Or you think, you're going to have services that are going to sell and they don't.
Right.
Or, I mean, every year, and that's what I've done. Every year I've sat down and said, what feeds my energy? What is draining my energy? And what do you want to do? And so I've added services. I've canceled services. So I think you just have to I think one of the biggest things I see consistently with people is they're like, this is why I started the company. And then what happens is it's not working. And instead of doing the shift and the pivot, right? Instead of pivoting their business to what's actually people need, right, they're like, no, I don't want to do that. And it's usually a change thing. People don't want to change. They're not comfortable with that. And I'm good with change. So I don't worry about change. So, I mean, but if you pivot, because you are starting to target those people because there's a need there and no one's targeting them. Yeah. So, I mean, for the last 5 years, I've done everything. I've done back office support. So setting up the back ends of their businesses, policy and procedures, contracts, insurance, daily workflow, just things that people need and they don't even understand they need it, Yep. And my background is operations. So it was accounting and operations. So I have worked in management roles most of my career, setting up departments, setting up policy and procedures, so when I started a small business, I was like, girl, you got this, right? Like,
Yeah.
you can do this. And then, and that's what I was like, oh, that's a whole nother. I was like, wait, I have to do marketing and I have to do this. And I mean, so I had the fundamentals. Like, I knew what I was doing. I knew what kind of business structure to set up. I knew how to handle onboarding. I knew how to do all of this. And most people don't have that experience.
You started with the golden ticket.
Yeah.
You started with what people find out down the road when they're already in the hole.
Right. Yeah, absolutely, completely. And so what's ended up happening is people come to me because I need this and I need this and I need this. And I got into a position of burnout because I was trying to help so many people and I was pulling so many hours. And I'm like, this isn't working. And the information that I'm able to give people, like, my time is limited, right? My time is limited and my energy is limited. So what is the easiest way to get all this information into the world to help as many people as possible? And so that is why I started the Hive Academy. So it is a 1-year course because I don't want to hear it anymore. Like, there is a course for you and it will literally help you set up your business in 1 year. No more DIYing. We're not going to Google anything. No more YouTubing and spending hours trying to figure out how to do something. It is in this program. So it is a foundation recording of these are the basics that you need to understand for every module that's in there. You get all your templates are included. So if you need a service contract, if you need an independent contractor agreement, if you need a P&L, if you need, it's there. It is all included. But I think for me, the biggest piece that I truly love about this is I've been able to work with so many amazing business owners over the last 5 years. And and you're included. And so what I'm getting to do is I'm getting to list industry referrals. So if people need a business strategist, I have you listed. And what I am finding out is because people now have access to those resources, and I know there are people that's actually going to take care of them. And I trust those people to take care of these people that are new in business and are struggling to understand what they need to be doing. I literally had someone close a $2,500 deal last week because they're listed as an industry referral. And I'm like, but that's the heart of me too, is I always want to support my local community. I am all about community over competition.
Yeah.
And so it's letting me educate more people, pour in all the knowledge that I've done for the last 5 years to help hundreds of businesses, and then still be able to build a referral system that is supporting even more small business.
Gosh, so good. There's so much in there. And there are a few things that you said that I absolutely want to talk about. Number one, the fact that you made this a 1-year course. That is so freaking key because you are not promising 60 days. You're not promising 60 months. This is something that gives you time to learn and implement. And to me, that just says so much about you, and so much about the course, because there's a lot of quick fixes. You can go pay $5,000 to go through a group program for 90 days and you're not going to have the same result. So I love that you're not promising those quick fixes, but you're promising sustainable systems and sustainable foundation. And that's what I loved. Number two, the thing you talked about was how you've grown and you pivoted and you've changed over the years. And I think this is so key because most of the people that are here in small business, depending on what type of business you have, right? Mostly if you're in a personal brand or you're a coach or a service provider, you have this flexibility to kind of ebb and flow a little bit as you grow. And I was talking to another contact today we were talking about how entrepreneurship is literally a crash course in personal development. And as you're growing and evolving and being more in tune with yourself and your intuition, your alignment and the hippie woo shit, right? Your business is going to change with it. And that breeds a lot of growing pains and expansion, which then leads to a lot of other things, which is why people come to me. But that's another thing that we also need to be aware of. So I love that you talked about that as well. And then the last thing that I just loved was your heart for community and collaboration. And I'm all about the same thing, co-creation and collaboration, because you are literally competing when you're down in the sticks, right? Whenever you are starting out, that is the competition, right? But what you realize is when you start working together to build, when one person gets a leg up, they're going to give you a hand down to pull you up. Right?
Yes.
You don't have to freaking do it alone. And all the people that are successful, Apple, Tesla, all these massive Coke, right? That's my whole thing, right? These are built off of massive teams and people who are aligned with the vision. And you
Mhm.
want to see people win. I want to see people win, and we all want to win together. And we know that we can't do that. So I
Yeah.
just love all of that. And I just think it's just so special to have that conversation because a lot of people don't talk about really any of this. And
Mhm.
it's such a sentiment to who you are and that you give us the real.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that. And I think, I mean, in all those companies, I mean, they started in their garage,
Yeah.
right? I mean, like, right, or a basement, but I mean, what kind of support did they need around them in order to get themselves elevated to the place where they are? Because, like you said, like you can't do it by yourself. None of us can do it by ourselves. And so, if we can help more people, like what does that do for not, I mean, just for me, like the feel good that I get when I sat down and I had our first call on Tuesday and was like, with my participants, and I was like, what did you think? How did it go? And they're like, oh my God, like you just laid it out and you gave me all the steps that I needed to do. And there's a live Q&A, which means you are getting held accountable, right?
Mm.
Because I feel like that's one of the biggest pieces that people struggle with is that they go to a conference and they're like, this is amazing. And then they come home and we are so buried, nothing gets implemented. Like, who has time to implement? And so that
Right.
was the piece where I'm like, no, we're doing this slow and steady. And if I'm going to give you 10 things, I want 3 things done a month. You can do the
Yeah.
rest whenever you want to. But I mean, even just that, because if you can build that in them and you can help them develop, like you said, personal development, if you can help them develop that, like what does that do, not for them, but for me, for our local economy? And then how many lives are they going to change as they grow?
Right.
Right. And are they a B2B? How many businesses are they going to get to support and
Right.
encourage? I mean, and so that's the piece for me, right? Like I want that. I want that legacy to be able to help even more people and for people to say what she did helped build business.
Yes. Oh my God, I love it. And you can tell that you have such a heart for business. And some
Yeah.
people just have a heart for actual business.
Yeah.
And other people love the creation, right? I've always had a heart for business. I've been in business for myself since I was legitimately 12. I don't know if you know this, but that's when I had a company called Granana Bites. So I was in my house chopping up bananas, dehydrating banana chips, homemaking peanut butter because I didn't want Jif to get royalties. Right? Because I'm
Yes,
thinking
girl.
big. We're thinking big. And I was packaging up these little Granana Bite snacks with like a banana, peanut butter jelly, and granola, banana, peanut butter, honey, and apples, and like just packaging them up and selling them. And I submitted my idea to Davidson Industries, and I got an offer, and they wanted to work with me. But at that point, my parents were not going to drop 10 grand to do this. So, but
Right.
I've been in business for a while, and I have a heart for it. What was
Yeah.
so cool that you had kind of talked about is the implementation piece and how people get on a high, right? And need to be held accountable. One of my clients came to me the other day and she was talking about the same exact thing. She was like, Mackenzie, I just got back from LashCon. It was so great. But girl, I'm exhausted. I'm like, you just sleep it off. It's fine. But then a day or two later, she came back. She was like, you know what? Girl, I'm really feeling like I need to slow down. I said, well, hold on. Hold on. Before you do that, let's sit and analyze a little bit and let's figure out, do
Uh-huh.
you actually need to slow down? Or now
Mhm.
that you're actually having real momentum and things are actually getting put into place and you're making
Yes.
money and it's feeling easy, now you're feeling that resistance and
Yes.
feeling that urge to pull back. And
Yes.
that's where people like us can really step into support and help
Mhm.
pull them through that and lead them through that. And
Yes.
that's one thing that you've definitely done for me with my business. I know whenever I get mail from the IRS, I'm like, Mendy, what do? You were my first email. And,
Yeah.
you're my first email out of panic. I did try to handle it on my own and I couldn't handle it on my own. And I emailed Mendy out of panic.
Girl, I got you.
You got me. I should have literally first email. But truly, these are the things that it doesn't matter where you started in business, whether you were 12 like I was or you're established, there are gaps because
Yes.
there is no one teaching the things that you need to do. No one knows you have to file whatever report quarterly and then this other one every month on the 15th of the month and then your sales tax and then whatever the fuck the IRS needs and all of that, like
Yeah.
I don't know. It's crazy. So this is incredible and this is something that people need and it will definitely help and fill in those gaps. Um
And I
so
say it every day, just like knowledge is power. And I
yes.
mean, that for me, that's the piece. Like knowledge is power. As a business owner, I don't, that just because I understand it doesn't mean I need to be doing it.
Yeah.
But as a business owner, it is your responsibility to understand it.
Yeah, your name is on that tax code. Your name is on the tax code.
That is your name and your legacy and your reputation, right? And so that's what I tell people. Knowledge is power. You need to understand it. But does that mean I need to be doing social media? No. Does that mean I need to be doing bookkeeping? No. Does that mean I need to be doing my own damn calendar? No. Right? It, like you can get a community around you who are going to support you and help build your business with you, because at the end of the day, time is your greatest asset.
Right.
And you don't have it as a business owner. So you have got to figure out pretty quick what is worth your time and energy and what's not, because running a business will drain you. It will run you in the ground if you allow it.
Absolutely. And that all comes back to personal responsibility.
Yes.
The whole piece of your name is on the tax code. If something goes under, it is your fault. They don't care that you didn't know. It really don't. You are literally a number, and now it is your job and your livelihood on the hook. So building out your business in a way where it can be supported without you doing everything is the only way that you're going to be able to succeed. And it's going to be a fast track to do that. And it's so incredible because you're empowering people to be able to take their businesses back into their control. Because a lot of times you can feel like you're a whirling dervish, from the words of Will Ferrell from Kicking and Streaming, if anybody knows. Incredible movie. He's one of my favorites. But you can feel like a whirling dervish going around trying to figure it all out. And then you're trying to do things. Maybe it's not working or you don't know the steps you need to take. And maybe you're 10 steps ahead and it's not working because you missed the other 5 steps. And that's kind of the missing piece. And that's what this will help with as well.
Yes, absolutely. Completely agree with you. Yeah, I love that. I mean, when you talk about personal development, girl, that's, like you're in it now. Like, here we go.
There is no business going back. Oh my gosh. So what has been the biggest growth period in yourself, in your identity throughout your business growth journey?
It was probably this year. I can't, and it's really funny because I go and I teach businesses and I teach classes and I do all the stuff. And I go in and I teach time management. And what ended up happening is, I don't know how I did it, but sometime in maybe November, I took on some stuff that was a lot bigger than I was ready for. And I was pulling about 60 hours a week. And I was like, it's 2 weeks, like get this little project kicked out in 2 weeks. Well, a lot of things and some things happen, but I was pulling 60 hours for about 4 months.
Wow.
And I'm like, what the hell are you doing, Mendy? Like, girl, better. Like, go teach this. Yeah. And I had to sit down and that's what happened. I had to sit down and go, this isn't working. Like, what are you doing? This is not what you signed up for. This is not what you want to do. You want to help people. You can't do it. You are burnt out. You're not sleeping. Like, what are you doing? And I blew up my own company. Yeah. And you know what? And that making that decision. And we literally had that cry fest for an hour. And just like, I don't know what to do. And what am I supposed to do? Like, and without having that conversation with you, where you gave me permission to go, it's okay. Like, what is it you want to do? What are you wanting to do? What is going to make you happy? Because this isn't it. Like,
Yeah.
you don't want to do this. So
Right.
what are you doing, Mindy? Like, but
Right.
having that conversation to let someone give you permission, because again, like, this is not for the weak, and we push through and we push through and we push through. But there comes a point where it was almost like I needed that permission from you to go, what do you want to do? And I'm like, I want to teach.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do. And I mean that, and so that's what I did. I blew up my company in about a month. But
Yeah.
now on the other side of it, 60 days later, I'm like, this is where I want to be.
Yeah.
Right. And so many people had, because I mean, my first reaction is I failed. And everyone else's first reaction, which is why your tribe is so damn important, because everyone else in my circle was like, do you know how brave it is to do what you just did?
Right.
And I'm like, I mean, I'm losing my crap, because I'm like, what did you just do?
Right.
And everyone else is like, that was the bravest thing I've ever heard anyone do. Like, for you to do that for yourself, your mental health, your physical health, for your clients,
Yeah.
for, I mean, all of it. And now 60 days later, I'm like, oh, here we go. This is what I want. And like so much happier, so much happier. But
Oh,
that's hard, right? I mean, but that's why this matters. That's why investing in yourself, in your business, in your community, it matters, because people are going to believe in you and have faith in you and tell you what you need to hear, even when on the inside you have no idea what to even do with your life.
oh my gosh. I resonate with literally all of that. And
Yeah.
I've had this message that dropped in to me today after my hot work session this morning. I went in like 4:45 and
Oh.
did my whole thing. But what keeps dropping in for me over and over again is creating space for capacity. And when
Mm.
you give yourself the moment or the space to breathe and to allow for creativity and capacity and clarity to come in, I'm sorry, create space for clarity, which will then bring capacity, which will then bring energy and passion. So
Yes.
whenever you create space for clarity, you can finally look at something with a clear mind and
Mm-hmm.
then figure out where the fears are coming from,
Mm-hmm.
reframe them to be not fears anymore, remind
Mm-hmm.
yourself of what's true about yourself, and then move through them and then get
Mm-hmm.
on the other side. And
Mm-hmm.
then once you're inspired, you now have the clarity, which is bringing capacity, which is going to make you excited to go
Yes.
after what it is that you want. And then you have your passion,
Yeah.
right? And
But that's also why having someone like you as a strategist is imperative, because
yeah,
if people don't have that piece, they're like, they just get stuck.
yeah. Well, you need a mirror, right? Like a lot of
Yeah.
times you can't see these things, right? Like
No.
you wouldn't have been able to be like, this is what I need to do,
Mm-hmm.
right? And the reason why I was able to so quickly, like in an hour, when we had that conversation, because I
Yeah.
had been through that with my company, with my wedding company. That's
Yep.
exactly what I did. On the
Mm-hmm.
outside, it's great. You're making money. I
Mm-hmm.
got my products in retailers all around the world. I had a trademark. I was at bride shows and all of these things and
Right.
swimming in pajamas, and it was fun. But dear God, it was killing me. It
Right.
was not fun. And
No.
whole life and brand is about having fun because
Right.
that's what we're meant to do here on this planet. And it takes massive bravery
Yeah.
to move through it. And
Mm-hmm.
what you'll find is once you kind of burn what is not aligned for you, it might be rocky and you might have 0 months and you might have negative months, and that's
Mm-hmm.
okay. I've got hella credit card debt, I but
Yeah.
there is no doubt in my mind of my self-trust that I'm going to make it back tenfold, right?
Right.
Or I also know that I'm going to be able to create $3,000 worth of value from whatever it was I invested it in,
Mm-hmm.
right? So a lot of times fear and the scariness of leaping into something or burning something down boils down to those things. Yes, it's a price objection, but let's like go under that and talk
Right.
about how it's really I'm scared I'm not going to make it back because I don't trust myself because I'm not as good as I think that I am. Okay, you're
Mm-hmm.
not a fraud. Okay, you were
Mm-hmm.
called to do something on the
Right.
planet. You have a responsibility to share it with the world. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, if you're worried that you're not going to be able to create enough value, that's a you problem.
Yeah.
Okay, but the minute you step on the other side of that things
Mhm.
are going to be abundant because the world is abundant inherently. Nobody tell me different because it is. If you do the abundance practice, you will know. Every time you drive around, you see a parking spot or you get a free appetizer or a free little Coke, you say abundance out loud and you will start approaching and seeing the world from a lens of gratitude and gratefulness, and it will literally just change your life immediately.
Yeah.
But you're going to be on the other side of it and things are going to come so much easier. And when there's
Mhm.
ease, there's flow. When there's flow, there's, money and
Mhm.
riches raining down, right? But that's what I had felt and realized and experienced after burning down my wedding company and saying, okay,
Mhm.
I'm literally done with this because it was on life support for 2 years. I tried everything to make it work
Mhm.
for myself and it just was not doing it. So then there's a point where you have to realize you are misaligned and you have to
Mhm.
do the inner work that nobody wants to do. We're not going to sit here and pretend like everyone loves to do this. Okay?
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Hear this
Nobody,
now. The inner work is not easy.
nobody wants to do this.
No, it's not fun. You're gonna cry a lot
Mm.
and you're gonna feel like a failure a lot, but let me tell you, there's no such thing as failure at all. There are only lessons.
Yep.
And failing is an opportunity for growth, and you can learn what you didn't like, what didn't work for you, and those
Mhm.
are all lessons because now you're one step closer to
Yeah.
getting where you need to be to getting the things that are meant for you.
Yeah.
And
Fail
that's
forward
yes, fail.
every time.
Yes, well, and the thing is, the quicker you move,
Right.
you're already 10 steps ahead of everyone else who's not moving at all. So
Mhm.
then it literally just becomes a matter of time and consistency and repetition and showing up, right? And that's why having this business foundations are so key because once you have everything legally set up and whatever, then you can start focusing on, okay, how am I actually going to share my message, right? Or how am I
Mhm.
going to do marketing? How am I going to let the world know what I have going on?
Mhm.
Then you go take the world by storm. But you've
Mhm.
got to have those foundations first, and then you have to have a clear direction of where you're going. Doesn't
Mhm.
matter how high you're going, right?
Right.
For me, we're going for Coke, right? That's what we're doing. We've got our eyes set there, but that's a long road and it's stair steps, right? But
Mhm.
every step forward is more than they're doing.
Yeah, exactly. Because we don't quit.
No, no. And here's the thing, a lot of times, going back to that, the quitting piece, the failing piece, admitting that something didn't work
Yes.
doesn't mean that you quit.
Right.
Quitting is only quitting if you don't ever try again. That
Right.
is what quitting is. And that's where we have to realize, like, okay, this is where we're judging ourselves, where we're putting all of these, we're validating all of these
Mhm.
negative, self destructive inner critic things that come up for us. And that is also the biggest detriment. You cannot let any of that stuff stop you either.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, like, you better walk in that room like God sent you there. Because I mean, and that's how you have to approach this every
Yeah.
single day. Like, I am here for a reason. This is what I'm meant to do. This is the skills and the gifts and the things that I'm able to do. Me being able to explain stuff in a complex stuff in a way that people understand, that is a gift.
Right.
So when you find that gift, you have to use it correctly. And I mean, I wouldn't have this gift, and if I had it and I didn't do anything with it, like, what would I be doing with my life?
Right.
Right?
Right.
What's the point? I mean, I can go pull a 40-hour a week job with absolutely no love, no passion, no nothing to get a paycheck, but man, I'd rather run down the run down the street like a dog with the gate open than, than do nothing,
That's
you
the
know.
thing. And it's really like you have to choose your heart. How do you want to spend your
Absolutely.
life? Do you want
Yeah.
to spend your life sitting and doing a job that you freaking hate and that being hard?
Right.
Or do you want to do the hard of trying to build something for yourself,
Yes.
right? Yes, it's going to be hard. No one is telling you here. We will tell you how it is. No one is telling you here you're going to make 100K your first month like you're going to see
No.
online.
No.
Like that's not going to happen. That is not realistic. And
No.
if you figure it out, like come hit us up, let us know. But we've been around the block and we know that that's really not realistic. And everything that
Right.
looks like an overnight success was actually 10 years in the making,
Yeah. Yeah.
minimum 10 years.
Yeah.
So don't compare yourself to someone
No.
else's journey. Just because someone's popping up with a new business or whatever, and it seems like it came up overnight, you don't know
Mm-hmm.
what experience they showed up with. You
Mm-hmm.
don't know the background, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what all has happened behind the scenes. So do not judge yourself because your timeline is your timeline and it is just perfect exactly where you are.
Yes, absolutely.
Mm.
Get it, girl. Oh,
Get it, girl.
go.
Oh my gosh, I love this. This is just so important, and I'm so excited to be a part of the Hive Academy and being able to pour into the people that go through there and being able to support you and to support them. So, what can they expect after they go through the Hive Academy? What can they expect to have done or completed or have an understanding of?
So every month is a different module. So, I mean, we cover, I mean, I'm not going to go through every module, but I mean, it is basically setting up the foundation. So, the first, so let's just say module 1, for example, it's talking about your business structure. Why are you choosing the business structure you are? Because that matters, even though people think it doesn't. How to handle business receipts, how to handle bank accounts, how to handle mileage. I mean, some of the fundamental things that people don't even understand about business, right? But also in there is, I mean, but that's just like module 1. So I mean, every single module is breaking down insurance, contracts, operations, accounting, how to do a budget, because people don't even know how much money they're supposed to be making in order to cover their bills. I
Right.
mean, but again, there's 12 modules, everything comes part of it. Um, because in that 12-month period, I want people to feel confident that this is set up correctly. And at this point now I can scale, right? No more, no, I don't want people in survival mode anymore. And I mean, we all do it, right? We all start a company and we're like, yes, this is amazing. And then we're like, oh crap, what are we doing? Right? We don't know what we don't know, right? We think we know. You don't know, I promise you. And so for me, that's the piece. Like, I want everyone out of survival mode, and okay, these are my policies, and this is how I handle refunds, and this is how I want to onboard my clients, and this is how I want to offboard. Like, I want people to sit down and do that work, because at that 1 year mark, okay, now it's time to scale, right?
Yeah.
Now it's time to grow. Now, what do we need to do to get you moving in the right? Now that we have a basic understanding and all this, and you have a firm foundation, where do I need to go? And who do I need to get me there?
Right.
Right. And that is what I wanted to do with this piece, because if you have all this set up, now it should be easy. You already understand what you need to be doing in every aspect of your business. So then, yeah, we're going to scale, adapt, grow, all the things, right? So that is the beauty of that one piece.
I think that's huge because no matter what ends up happening with you and what you want to do, these foundations should last you no matter what, is
Period.
what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because this is the stuff that no one talks about.
Yeah.
This is the stuff where, I mean, if you don't do this, I promise you, 2-3 years down the road, it's gonna bite you, because
You're
you
gonna
haven't
have to do it,
even.
y'all. You're gonna have to do it, whether
Yeah.
it's on the fly
Yeah.
or you want to sit down and do it all at once in 1 year and then never have to do it.
Do it
You're
again.
gonna
Yeah.
have to do it.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, girl, because
Okay.
it all has to get done. I mean, and you might not think it needs to get done. I promise you it needs to get done. Yeah, it will. And for me, it's also just another thing about the liability issue. And I mean, just because I think that's one of the biggest pieces that I notice is people just don't understand the liability piece of owning a company and the sue people, and what you're, as a business owner, if you are not protecting yourself and your business and your personal and your asset, your personal stuff, if you're not doing it correctly, you're going to have problems. I
Right.
mean, so there's just so many pieces that people, they just skip because they don't know.
Right.
But if you don't have to skip it and you can build your foundation, where does that put you? I mean, you're going to be so much further ahead. And
Right.
I think for me, one of the biggest things when I was trying to price this thing was, I know this is new businesses, and I know that people cannot afford a lot of money. So I mean, the fact that I'm doing it for $150 a month for a
Yeah.
new business, like, that's insane. But that is where that for me is, I want this done. I
Yeah.
want people to be able to afford to do it, because I understand how important this is and how much further they're going to get if they will do it.
I think that's huge to
Yeah.
talk about. One, the liability piece is
Girl.
huge. And I think you need to do a whole separate conversation about that because I don't even know that I understand all the liabilities. I don't
Mm-hmm.
think anyone ever does, really, all of them, because something can come out of left field. But
Mm-hmm.
with this, like the pricing and is astronomically low in
Yeah.
the best way
Mm-hmm.
because you're going to spend multiple hundreds of thousands of hours trying to figure it out all on your own. But
Right.
what was coming up for me as you were talking through this, I'm like, I don't even know that only new businesses need this.
Oh
I
no.
think people who are established that think they have their businesses set up should still go through this. Like, I'm like, shit, maybe I need to go through this and just make sure I've got it all,
Yeah.
just to
Yeah.
cross your T's and dot your I's.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, it was funny because I had a conversation with someone last week. She's been in business for 10 years.
Yeah.
And I literally sat down and you'll get this. We were talking about payroll.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, I'm doing, what I don't want to get into the weeds, but she was talking about payroll versus owner draws. And so I sat down and I drew her a picture, images, right? Because some people are visual.
Yeah.
And I was like, if you do this, this is what happens. If you do this, this is what happens. And I kind of wrote all the information down and put everything at the bottom. And I'm like, this is the benefit of doing this. And she looked at the sheet of paper and she goes, why has no one explained this to me in those terms before? And I said,
Right.
because that's the gift that I have.
And
I
no
have the
one
gift.
exists like you.
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
one exists to tell
Yeah.
us any of this.
Yeah. And she's like, no one has explained it to me like that. And I'm like, but this is why I do what I do. And this is why I have built this platform because like, that's easy for me. And she's like, I need to be doing this. And I'm like, I know you need to be doing this, and she's like, okay, I'm going to do it. But she's like, even my CPA didn't tell me that. And I'm like,
Girl, get me started on the CPAs, the accountants, and the
girl.
whoever's. Get me started. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Don't hire them, hire Mendy. Mendy, I swear, y'all are going to be put through it, but Mendy's going to have incredible referrals in the Hive Academy for people who can do this well.
Yeah. It matters. I mean, all of it matters. All these pieces
And the other
matter,
thing I
and
want to
people don't
highlight
understand. But she's
was
going to join. She's starting in June. Yeah,
she
because
needs
she's
to.
like,
I think everyone needs to after hearing all of this. I mean, this is absolutely a no-brainer. The cost is a non-negotiable. If you're starting a business, you're in the business of being in debt. What do you mean? Like you got to take on the debt to start the business. I mean, you can hustle and grind and DIY it and make no money and have a really hard time. But
and redo everything 3 years later.
Right, exactly.
Thousands of dollars to redo everything you've just done.
Right. Well, and the thing that I think is so key that we really totally just glazed over was your experience in oil and gas.
Oh, yeah.
And you were doing this for them. So these are industry giants, right?
Yeah.
That is one of the largest industries and company types in the world. So the fact that you were literally doing all of this for those companies says worlds about your credentials and your authority and why you are the one to be teaching everybody all of this.
Yeah. So I did a specific piece of oil and gas accounting. Of course, there's a ton of different pieces, but yeah. So but yeah, I mean, there's a lot of regulations and things that have to get done and reporting, and I mean, so many. But I mean, yeah, I like it.
I like it. I like it a lot.
What I'm good at.
Okay. So after people go through the Hive Academy, what are their next steps? Like, what should they be thinking about? What should they be planning for? All that good stuff. And then we'll kind of wrap up.
Yeah. So I think the biggest thing for me, of course, I want everyone to feel comfortable. There will be a piece after the Hive Academy. If someone wanted to keep me on retainer to, do the strategy with, and this is where I'm at in my business and I'm struggling with this piece, or this isn't working, what would you recommend? All of those things. So that is absolutely going to be available to keep me on retainer after they finish the course. But for me, it's also about finding good people like you, like finding business strategists, finding people who are in the space that you need to be in and to help you work through all the things that we have talked about on this call, because it will pop up its ugly little head. And if you are not in the mental state that you need to be in order to grow, you're going to really struggle. So, and that looks different for every company and every person and every industry, right? So, but you definitely need to figure out how to build a team that's going to support you.
Yeah. Oh, that is so good. Okay. Thank you so much for spending your time with us today. Tell me how everyone can find you on socials, how they can connect with you, and where they can hop into the Hive Academy.
So, you can Honeydew Checklist is the website. Socials are Honeydew Checklist for Facebook, Instagram. You can search my name on Google because I have figured out today that I am numero uno on Google
You
across
are
the board.
hella Googleable, girl.
Yeah, so you can search my name, Mendy Applegate. Yeah, I mean, you can find me anywhere on there. So yeah, easy to find. I'm not hard to find if you need something. So, but again, at the end of the day, I just want to support small business and do whatever I can to make it easy. So
Okay, girl. Thank you so, so much. My kiddos are popping in here now. So perfect timing.
yes.
Thank you so much for spending this time with me.
Oh, thank you, honey. I appreciate you.
All right. Bye.
Bye.